Hello, and thank you for joining the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Zubakum. Today on the program, Bandit confirmed 121 Bethel Baptist School students, Kaduna, in their custody as Khan urges President Buhari to seek external help to tackle insecurity. Bill to create state police. Security outfits kills second reading at House of Representatives. And later on the show, bill to jail unlawful protesters passes first reading at the National Assembly. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Olayinka Oyegbile. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. In recent times, banditry and kidnapping has become systematic occurrence in Nigeria. In an unexpected move, bandits who abducted students of Bethel Baptist High School, Damishi in Kaduna, on Monday have reached out to the management of the institution to demand for foodstuffs. Yes, foodstuffs. The bandits claim that 121 students of the school are in their custody. This was confirmed by two senior students who spoke with management staff of the school. Meanwhile, the president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Khan, has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to seek international assistance to tackle rising insecurity in the country. The Khan president, Samson Ayokunle, said the situation is getting out of control. Babajide, they need food. When you abduct 121 students, those students, if they can't even feed for two times daily, you need to feed them at least once. And to feed them once for 121, no matter how you are trying to ration what you have on ground, you need supplies. The more you keep them there, the more the running costs.
Yes, the bandits are very stupid people. If you are planning to kidnap people, especially people that are that many, you should have invested in the food that they are going to eat
first.
Since they've turned it to business now.
Abi?
It's like plugging money into the business.
That would just be like the overhead costs.
Yeah. But it's bandits who want to kidnap people. They want you to feed the people that they have kidnapped. They also want you to buy Okada for them. You buy Okada for them, and then still give them ransom at the end of the day.
They're having just a free reign.
You know, I said before that any piece of business with a huge profit margin, you will kill Nigerians and they will not want to give it up. The new chief of army staff was saying today, after he was decorated
Lieutenant General.
Yes, with his rank of Lieutenant General, that they have been sending bandits to God to go and answer for their sins. I'm happy to hear that, but what they have done is not enough. Bandits too have been sending soldiers to heaven or wherever, because in kidnapping these children, they gunned down 2 soldiers in Kebbi State a few days back. In Birnin Kebbi, I mean in the Zulu area, they attacked soldiers. 5 of those soldiers are dead now as we speak. So these people, they have levied war on the state. There's no need to waste time. There's no need to delay. There's no place for them to stay in our country. But there are apartments in hell.
Enough.
Where we can send them to.
Enough.
So if they will not change their ways, there is no compromise. We just have to descend heavily on them. No one can be bigger than the state. And if the state must show its fury, it has to be against these individuals who do not even know that you don't have to kidnap tots. Little kids, 4-day-old, 5-day-old, they are kidnapping them in the Zakaria area now. So what evidence again do you need to validate the fact that these are animals? How they don't deserve to live? El-Rufai said it that by their conduct, they have lost the right to live. That is why they have targeted the state. Because yes, Kaduna has always had security problems, even before El-Rufai got there. But we can see that they are deliberately targeting schools in Kaduna State. Between December and now, you know how many times they've attacked 4 schools? Is that the only state in our country? So these guys, we must not show mercy to them. It's been suggested that the president should seek help. Nobody even needs to suggest to him. He has to do what is right. If we lack the capacity to deal with these people decisively at this time, and foreign help will assist us by way of, we are not saying they should put boots on ground, because that is the point that people don't understand. Assistance can be in a form of material, equipment that we need to get the job done.
Game changing.
Yes. So that is the point that we are making. And the governor of Borno State also said the same thing. That we need weapons, we need mercenaries. He even mentioned mercenaries.
Yes.
Which is what we had been saying for a long while. Somebody who is based in the most what I would describe as one of the most dangerous states in our country to live in, where people have left their homes, has also, that the governor has said, these are the problems. Let us seek help. He said it.
He can feel it. He knows what the problem is.
He knows what he's saying.
Because
he knows what he's saying. And significantly, he also said that the president has not been given the accurate picture of what's going on there. Ayo, we have said this before. When the president in his June 12th speech said that the IDPs in Borno State have all returned home, I said, Aina Kakomagida. They have not, in Maiduguri alone, there are up to 22 IDP camps. Just that city alone.
Return home.
And they are busy there. So you can't say they've gone home. So whoever lied to the president that IDPs in Borno State have gone home has a date with God.
You know, some people, that's their stock in trade.
He has a date with God, because God will ask you
to paint
that on this day you lied. You lied in writing the speech of the president that IDPs in Borno State have all gone home because they've liberated their local governments. God will ask you.
No, they
are suffering. The IDPs are suffering.
Olayinka, when you look at these shameless bandits requesting for food to feed the children, now, if I were to be the management of this school, I will have no choice than to provide, because they are so heartless. If you are as heartless as, you know, abducting less than 1 month old baby, they can allow them to just go to die of hunger like that.
It is at the point like this that I feel demeaned as a Nigerian. Because clearly it looks as if we are running 2 republics. One for the outlaws and one for the law-abiding. What does it take?
The outlaws, they are making their demands.
Exactly. What does it take for us to bring this thing on? When the current president talked about foreign help, I cast my mind back to what happened in Niger State, the American that was kidnapped. America came right from the United States of America to come. The guy was kidnapped from the Niger Republic. They brought him to Niger State, and they came to Nigeria, and they took him out. Not one person was dead among the people they brought. So what was the technology that they used that we cannot ask them for? 121 children. These children were not put in a highest bus. They were perhaps not put in. If to carry 121 children, you cannot use a 15-seater bus. So
even civilian bus.
Exactly. So where did this bus pass, or these buses? Where did they pass? And
The regular motorbike. How many motorbikes?
I am so demeaned. Honestly, I am so depressed that you now look at it that, is this the same Nigerian that we were born in? Is this the same Nigerian that our soldiers went to Liberia, went to Sierra Leone, went to Congo and did all what they did? What is it in our system that is making this to happen? If the president has not realized that this is a challenge to his authority, I wonder what we are still doing. The country has fallen apart as far as I'm concerned. Kalmeya said this house has fallen. It hasn't fallen in the 80s when that German journalist wrote his book. Now the house has completely fallen, and my worry now is between now and 2023, if Nigeria still remains in Nigeria, what will be the campaign strategy of those who want to succeed this government, either on the same platform of the party or another party? What are they going to say? What are they going to tell Nigeria?
No, security will be the
it is so distressful.
You know,
it's so painful to me.
Some supporters of Mr. President, which we are all allowed to have people who support and people we are interested in, and Mr. President will always have his supporters, whether good or bad.
Definitely,
they are entitled to it. But they perceive some people. They perceive some people that point out this issue of insecurity and what we play on this program as pure hatred for Mr. President.
Yes.
And I reminded one of them yesterday that I know how many weeks I spent in Daura during 2015, you know, to run down to the election. There was even a time that you even used him as your...
I was even using him as my DP for about 3 years.
That they were even abusing you?
Yes, people abused me. I stood firm.
So right now
I said
that we decided
was the person that we wanted.
Yes, tell the truth and tell, look, you are not getting it right. Things must.
And it is not born out of hatred.
No.
I'm still
we used to call the super tanker in 2015.
Yes, I named him super tanker after that huge crowd that received him at the Bauchi airport.
Yes.
That was when I named him super tanker. Because there's nothing like a super tanker. You need to see the size of a super tanker to know that a super tanker is incomparable to anything. Now, people who are far away, who had never met him, who will never be privileged to even get to a spitting distance to the president, they are now the ones that I saw. One guy even posted something. He said that people who detest Buhari are now saying that,
don't get it twisted,
that tomato is 1,000.
I saw that.
Thoroughly maladjusted individuals. The tomatoes are of different grades. There is one that is called UTC. It's the best, is the most reddish of all, and is of the highest quality. Now, some of them will post pictures. They don't even know how to do propaganda. They will now post pictures and put pictures to that thing on, and say, "See this one. I bought this one for so price. So, are they of the same quality? You have no money. You are buying a sha, what they call a sha." You know, a lot of our restaurants, local restaurants, that is what they do, yes. Because it's the one that is cheap.
Yes.
You have no money to buy the high grade one, you are buying the Esha. But you can sit somewhere and say that this is not. Mr. President is too mature to see criticism as hatred. Or hate speech. You remember Asiwaju said it, that over time he had grown accustomed to being abused. So if we are telling our government or our leaders that this is the way to go,
to what the people,
they are sensible enough.
Yes.
They are sensible enough to know that, look, people are complaining. I've even seen where the president himself admitted that I know that things are tough.
Things are tough, yeah.
Very tough.
True. Now, for you to sit down and imagine that when someone says...
Nigerians that I saw one railway line from Okano to Abuja where they are killing people. That's development.
That's the story. There is nowhere in the world where loss of lives is not the biggest story that any tabloid can come up with.
Exactly.
You know, so
because those infrastructure, what are they for?
I've advised the president that if he does not defeat the security problem, that is the way his government will be defined. It's not. This is not like a hatred.
What is it?
I have no reason to hate him.
What is it?
I have no reason to hate him. People who can never get close. I have visited the first family, even in recent times.
Madam has appeared in this program.
Madam has appeared. So she knows that I don't hate the man.
Journalist Hangout.
She's a fan.
So what?
His children are fans. What are you talking about? Let us look at our country and see how we can find the solution.
You expect us to come here and
we can't come here.
Whitewash things
a
journalist,
and start lying. You see, the thing is, the president will leave office one day.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
We will continue our job. If we sell our conscience, we see the truth, we run away from it. We have destroyed ourselves permanently.
Like call us PDP.
Nigerians do not forget such things easily.
No, they don't.
They don't.
They don't.
They will say, "Oh, look at you." A lot of them, you know that a lot of those our foreign people have not forgiven me even for supporting Mr. President.
Yes.
They'll say, "Oh, why you not one of the people who brought
him to power?" Yeah.
Now you.
It's just similar to what the wife said the other day.
Yeah.
That when we fail, we become lonely. All of these people we abandon.
They should go and have
President Jonathan.
Yes.
The moment he lost that, even before he considered defeat,
yes.
people abandoned him. That is how Nigerians are.
Stopped
they will call you, oh, you are the best thing since sliced bread. They will call you all kinds of romantic names. They are only waiting the day it appears that your fall is inevitable. You see them,
they will change camp.
They will move away, and some of them will be saying, "Oh, we want them."
We want him.
Oh, he doesn't take advice. Bad people. Bad people.
We will see betrayal.
Of course. God will spare our lives. Some of the individuals hitting their heads against the wall now because of us are saying the truth. We will see. You see here what they will say later on. Some of them will even claim that, "Oh, we predicted that it will fail." God will not allow him to fail. Because the president fails, we all bear the brunt. We all suffer.
That is it.
We want him to succeed. And it is not impossible to defeat this insecurity. I was telling someone some time ago that even in Benue State, there was a time that they were killing people in dozens regularly. Yes, and we were doing the program.
Yes.
The president deployed troops, including the Air Force.
Yes.
And the killing stopped. On the day President Buhari went to Benue State to campaign, Otom, the governor, was so happy he had to visit the president and thanked him.
Exactly, I remember.
He thanked him. He said, "Yeah, thank you for the way you deployed troops, and now those killings have stopped." It's the same thing that I want the president to do in all of these flashpoints. Do it in Niger, do it in Zamfara, do it in Katsina, your home state, where they killed 19 people yesterday. And once we have that peace, your name, everyone will praise you, and then people will continue to talk about the infrastructure development.
That time we can talk.
These killings are drawing the attention of people away from your achievements.
Yes.
And these killings
you can't be talking about your achievements when people are dying.
No, they will not talk about it. These killings are trying to define your government, and it should not be the case. Because when you fail, some of us we have to even hide our heads. That is the point.
Olushola is on the line. Olushola is calling us from Oyo State, Ibadan.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Ayo.
Good evening, Shola.
Mr. Olayinka and Dide, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You all are doing a very good job. Honestly, we all want Mr. President to succeed. Why? Because we believe that we are having the country together. He's only a president for a time of 8 years. And after 8 years, we go. And Nigeria will remain the same. But what is so important now for Mr. President and his handlers is they should please listen to Nigerians that we are grounding. Economic issue need urgent attention.
Yeah.
They should please pay more attention to it and save our lives as Nigerians. Babajide and Olayinka plus Ayo, you are all doing a good job. God will keep you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Honestly,
they will say they have stopped watching. We have even stopped watching, but they know what we say. How are you able to know what we are talking about?
I don't even bother myself with such comments. Stop watching.
Who do you think you are fooling?
More people on board every day.
People want you to say what is sweet in their own ears.
We will not
do that.
On this show.
Not on this
We
program.
must talk of the truth, because it is he who feels it knows it.
Yes.
I mean, people are dying. People are.
Some people know it and they choose not to admit it.
You go to our social media, you start trolling us there, start calling us all of them.
That is their own business.
You go to our page.
Right now,
if you say rubbish, I'll block you.
If it was easy to simply stop us from talking, this program
will have been
dead.
Yeah.
We started since 2014. We have a character that everyone knows. We say it the way it is. We speak the truth. Do they think that we have not faced intimidation?
Oh.
Even from official quarters. Oh. Not to talk of little cretins on social media.
Who abuse the one guy.
Yes. So if it was so easy to stop people from talking, oh, don't say this, then by now we won't even be here.
At all.
You know, but it's about our country. This same platform we used to say, look, our country now needs change. We campaigned.
Seriously.
The way in the U it's not a bad idea for the press to say.
Took a stand. Took a stand when it was the time.
Every election year, you see American newspapers.
New York Times,
they will
CNN.
say, okay, we are endorsing President.
That is why they said the media says the agenda. That is what it's supposed to be.
And we did it at
no
that
apology
time.
for doing that.
No. We did it at that time. We said
it is our
Nigeria needed change.
Exactly.
Nigeria needed change.
So there's no need to be apologetic about it.
No, I have no regret.
There's no need to be apologetic.
Usually when I do things, I don't regret. When I supported the NSAS protest against the police for the brutalities that the police were carrying out, I have no regret. Up to tomorrow, I have no regret. When they now derailed and refused to leave the road,
exactly.
I told them, I said, leave the road. At that point, I withdrew. So for people to say, oh, yes, maybe you supported NSAS, whereas NSAS was meant to bring down President Buhari's regime.
No.
That's interpretation.
See.
Till today, I don't understand.
It is.
And they want to go and tell that president, Mr. President. And Mr. President said, yes, that's okay.
Well, it's okay.
Now, this security situation now, we know the standards.
Yes.
These children might not pay ransom. The government might not pay ransom, and the parents we just reach out to them. I'm sure they will be running helter skelter now. Some will sell their properties. Some will. What a country! They will have to contribute to attend to these bandits. And after giving them the ransom, there's no assurance that they will bring these bandits to justice. That they are going to apprehend them, bring them to justice and try them.
You know what I believe?
I don't want them to be tried.
The circle of these bandits are the same one that did the Greenfield University on. They are the same set of people. And they have been succeeding. And that is why they continue to do it. Because if I don't want to believe, honestly, I don't want to believe that we don't have that capacity. If you can trace other people who are outlaws and you can arrest them or go to their houses and destroy property there, is it that we don't know where these people are in the bush?
Okay,
we know.
Amos is calling us from Kaduna.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, Amos.
Good evening. This is Katuka Amos calling you from Kaduna.
All right. Go ahead.
I've been listening to your analysis, and everything you are saying is absolutely correct. In Kaduna, we are faced with a serious security challenge. And if you have listened to the governor recently, you could see how passionate the governor is about what is happening in Kaduna. It's unfortunate that the governor is incapacitated.
Yes.
Knowing fully well that some of the security apparatus are not absolutely under his control. So he has limitation. There's a limit to what he can do.
Yeah.
When this government of APC came to power in 2015, I remember their tripod campaign was security, economy, and employment also. And corruption. And clearly as it is now, I think the only thing we can put a question mark is the issue of corruption. Security they have failed. Economy, they have failed. As a teacher, 2/3 is absolutely a failed result. The only thing we have now is for them to convince us they are fighting corruption. President Buhari, I believe, is very, very passionate. Very, very passionate. And when he said he came to rescue this country from where it was, I believed everything the president said. Unfortunately, pardon me if my word is sounding derogatory, I think the president...
Thank you, Amos. Thank you for your contribution. We'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. Please stay with us. It's your favorite news and current affairs program, reaching you live from TVC News. We say the truth of the program, no matter whose ox is got, might not be your friend. I still have Babajide Kolade Otitoju in the house and Olayinka Oyegbile in the house. And the eagerly awaited constitutional process creating state police is on the verge of becoming a reality in Nigeria. A bill seeking to establish state police has passed second reading on the floor of the House of Representatives. The bill seeks to amend the 1999 Constitution and make police a concurrent issue in the Constitution, which will allow states to create and maintain police and other security outfits. The bill, which is proposing amendment to Section 198, subsection 1 of the Constitution, will create a state police council and state police service commission. Let's share the story with you.
Abductions have become the order of the day, with schools as lead target across many states. Kaduna State is now the epicenter of kidnapping, forcing the state government to abruptly shut 13 schools. Kaduna lawmaker Yakub Bandit comes under matters of urgent national importance to draw attention to the series of attacks in each state on a daily basis. He says lives are no longer safe in Kaduna State.
There are quite a lot of numerous unreported cases of banditry attack in various communities where they adopt innocent citizens for ransom.
The clamor for state police, which began years ago, has been resonating as insecurity rocks every part of the country. North York Look is the sponsor of the bill, seeking the creation of state police, and says decentralizing the police will help in tackling the scourge of insecurity.
It is pertinent that the state governors who give logistics support to the security agencies of the federal establishment should be given the latitude, and the state legislature should be given the powers to legislate, so that together, joining hands with the federal, with the security architecture at the state, we can now provide, fulfill the basic mandate of government.
We cannot be living and pretending that everything is okay. Nothing is okay. If 13 schools were closed in Kaduna, it is not a joke.
Outside the chambers, Yakubu Baride calls on Nigerians to stop paying ransom to bandits. He wants government to be more responsive and legalize carrying of arms.
Negotiation is good, but what will be the outcome of the negotiation? Is it payment of ransom? If that be the case, for me it's no. But the government, I want to believe, has the manpower, has the resources to subdue these bandits.
The House Committee on Appropriation has laid its report on the 895.84 billion naira 2021 supplementary budget, paving way for its constitution and passage anytime soon. Joke Adsa, TVC News, Abuja.
Babajide, this constitutional process, Section 197, subsection 1 of the Constitution, to amend it. Yes. And you know, the items on the exclusive list that exclusive list is what is on the table of the federal government. Now, an attempt to bring it down, to make sure it's a so that they can share concurrent powers, to make police a concurrent issue. Then automatically the state will have the power to create and supervise its own
policing system. Yeah.
And reading through why Nigeria is finding it difficult to take this move in spite of our security problem. America has over 17,800 police departments. Even university units, small units, they have police. So why is it difficult for us to just decentralize our police force?
Well, it's just that piece of legislation that says that there shall be one police.
Yes.
That is the impediment. That is the impediment to having state police. But the situation in which we find ourselves now, it is becoming more and more inevitable. A centralized policing structure for a country so vast as our country will just not work. And we can see all the signs that it is not working.
It's not working.
Even the federal authorities cannot provide the needs of the police
at all
without the support of the states. Buying vehicles for the police, buying anti-riot trucks and all that. You know, I saw one of the trucks that the Lagos State government bought. In fact, when you look at it, it looks so unreal. Just built like a main battle tank.
Yes, they have water cannon now.
Yes.
Yeah. Hot water cannon now. That to do disperse protesters.
They can use it to disperse instead of firing live ammunition at them. You know, so if states can do this for federal police, because this is federal police that we have, they would also be able to fund their own police. You can't tell me, for example, that Lagos State, if it were to create its own police now, would not be able to fund it.
Honestly, some local government in Lagos,
rich local government like a Papa, like a Jegunle, among the richest in the country, they can even have their own police structure. All that needs to be done is to create the structures that will make it succeed. And now they are talking about creating a state police commission and state police council. You know, these are structures. I don't know whether this bill will
pass second reading and will be signed.
Will eventually become law. You can predict that it will be a tiring process, knowing our country. Because there are still many people who do not believe that we should have state police, and they are going to use the people, there are people in the National Assembly to oppose it and all that. So I still don't know, but it has reached that point that state police is inevitable. I think even Rufai talked about it recently, that you can no longer have a centralized police.
The moment you think that
during the NSAS, during the coronavirus thing, when some communities in Lagos, when they told us that this 1 million boys they were going around. That time I saw what it is. People came out, landlords came out, they organized vigilantes and everything, and they stood still. They
defended their communities.
Yes, their communities.
When you look at the way the police is funded today, states have more funds.
Let me quickly take Barrister Inibe Effiong. Thank you for joining us, Inibe.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure speaking with you.
Yeah, we are talking about Section 197, the amendment that removes the state police from the exclusive right of the federal government of Nigeria and bring it down to a concurrent list. How cumbersome is this process, and how visible, how realistic is this process?
If the National Assembly has the political will, and of course that will also require the concurrence of the states. It's not only the National Assembly, because anything that pertains to question of state police must necessarily result in the amendment of the Constitution. In which case, the bill must also go to the Senate for concurrence. When the Senate has passed, it will now go before the houses of assemblies in the country.
And it's 24.
And of course, majority of them will also have to support the passage. The president also has to give his assent. So it is something that is doable. But the good thing is that there appears to be unanimity of purpose on that matter on the part of the governors of the South and the North. At least we have not seen, division on that point. Both the Northern Governors Forum, the Southern Governors Forum have expressed support for state police. My challenge as a Nigerian is that it is not enough to create state police. The National Assembly must be deliberate in enshrining provisions and clauses in the amended bill or the bill that is proposed to ensure that the powers of governors over state police is checkmated, because that is the fear that some of us have. There is nothing wrong in principle having state police in a federalism. We are even supposed to have municipal police or local government police that we have in any serious federal system. But if, given our peculiarity as a country, given what the governors have done to local government autonomy, to the local government system, given what they have done to the independence of the judiciary at the state, to the independence of the houses of assembly, will they not use the state police as a private militia to attack their opponents, to suppress dissent? So if the National Assembly has to do this, I am pleading with them, I am urging them, in the interest of this country, to enshrine deliberate provision that will make it difficult for governors to manipulate the police. Look at what now, if they can even be using federal police the way they are doing when they want to fight their opponents. Because it's only when it comes to tackling banditry, tackling insecurity, that governors claim that they don't have control over the police. But if it has to do with quelling political agitation, arresting their opponents, governors will not complain about control of the police. So there must be constitutional provisions that checkmate the powers of governors to control police at the state. If that is not done, it might just be, a landmine, and I'm hoping that it's not going to be the case. But I do agree that the current centralized policing system has thoroughly failed, is unsustainable, and has to be reviewed. But in doing that, we must ensure that necessary steps are put in place to checkmate what has become the continuous impunity of governors in the country.
Now let's talk about this bill. I'm sure you've read some of the stories announcing the advent of this bill. What is significant about it? Some people think that by the action of the House of Reps that it's possible to simply have state police. What really is the significance of this move by the House of Reps? Can they take this further?
So whatever it is worth, even if it is for some symbolic purpose, what the House of Representatives has essentially done is a response to the yearning and aspirations of the large section of the country, of many stakeholders within the political system who are convinced that there is need to have a sort of, because this is the restructuring that we are talking about. When we speak about restructuring, what we are essentially talking about in constitutional terms is the evolution of power. That is removing matters from the exclusive list to the concurrent list. And because this cannot be done, as I said, without the support of two-thirds, Section 9 of the Constitution is clear that for the Constitution to be altered, it must be supported by not less than two-thirds of the houses of assembly. So those who are thinking that this will just stop at the National Assembly are mistaken. There must be a similar bill before the Senate for concurrence, which they must also pass to align with what the House of Reps has done. But what this has shown is that if the leaders of this country want to do the right thing, they can do it.
Thank you, Inube. Thank you, Barrister Inube. We just wanted to explore the constitutional and the legal framework of what the House of Reps they are trying to do. Jide, this is like, it's not possible for you to clap with one hand.
No.
This is you must amend the constitution to achieve this.
And the process
from what Unibe has told us,
and the process
there's
is long.
and the process is cumbersome. So after,
you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that maybe they could find
maybe
a way to bypass that cumbersome process.
It must get the concurrence of the Senate, and out of the 36 states House of Assembly, 24
at least 24
must sign up. At least 24 must sign up to it, and Mr. President must sign up to it. So this is
a long process.
Amendment.
It is a long process which, despite the longness,
we have the willpower.
Yeah, and that is what I was going to say.
Come together and say we want to do this.
And the next election, if they are really serious about it, I mean, it is not a too technical thing for them to do. It's all they need to do. I mean, they have lawyers in the House of Representatives, the lawyers and the Senate.
Timeline.
Exactly, give it a timeline. They all do it. Almost all the governors are in support of it, and most houses of assembly.
So if you get the buy-in of the governors, most important, you will get the state house of assembly,
and with the security threats across the country, even most of the house of assemblies themselves are ready to let it go. So it is a thing that can be done if they are really serious. If they are really serious,
like this
it's not the political will. Yes.
Let's hope the process
is that political will that we just need.
We'll keep monitoring this. And finally on the show, when you think you have seen it all, or heard it all, our politicians will assume the role of magicians and conjure some amusing deeds. The House of Representatives had deliberating on a bill seeking to jail unlawful protesters in Nigeria. The bill titled "A Bill to Amend the Criminal Code Act 2004" has passed first reading at the lower legislative chamber of the National Assembly. Babajide. We joke too much in this country.
The lawmaker is saying that the lawmaker behind it, what's his name now? Emeka Chinedu Martins, PDP Imo, is saying that he is by no means trying to criminalize protest, that it is mob action that he does not like to see, and that this Criminal Code Amendment Bill 2021 seeks to protect life and stop the killing of innocent through mob action and vengeful carnage. So what he's saying is, look, people can't get up from, say, Ipaja and then move in a wave to TVC and say they are coming to burn TVC. You know, that kind of protest, for whatever anybody could have done to you at TVC, maybe you don't like Babajide's face or his pompous and all that, you just felt that you are going to burn a place. That is mob action. That can never be lawful. That is what he's saying. And according to him, the bill seeks to substitute for Section 76 of the Principal Act that deals specifically with mob action. And he's saying any persons who assemble together as a mob to commit violent acts against any person or property are guilty of a felony, and each of them is liable to imprisonment for life. That is for mob action, imprisonment for life. Now, it's also saying that when an unlawful assembly becomes violent, that's where my mind went to NSAS. When an unlawful assembly becomes violent as to commit unlawful acts against any person or property, the assembly is called a mob, and the violent acts is referred to as mob action. Anyone who takes part in a riot like that is guilty of felony and liable to 3 years in jail. Anyone who takes part in a mob action is liable to 5 years in jail. So if, for example, you started the protest on a peaceful note and it degenerates into violence, and when it degenerates into violence, it graduates into mob action, it could be life imprisonment that you are joking with. If this bill,
yes,
if this bill
the way
passes,
he couched into law, he has couched everything. It sounds so sensible and so good.
Yes.
But Jide, this is a democracy. We will be forced to differentiate between who
lawful protests,
harmless protests. You know, those people that will just carry placard and go to the State House of Assembly, they can be roped into.
He has already defined what constitutes a riot and a mob action. He says, A, when 3 or more persons which intend to carry out such for the purpose of assembling as such in a manner that causes people to fear, disturb the neighborhood, disturb public peace, provoke other persons, then it's already a riot.
No, see, are we in Onyade Jobi Theater or what? Because how do you define what is lawful protest?
This is an attempt to stop anything protest.
Exactly. Yes. Imagine
using
very sweet words.
Yes.
Imagine now
very
that
intelligent, well couched.
Imagine now that I gather, the 3 of us now gather ourselves that, okay, we are going to the House of Assembly. We want to protest that the road leading to this place is
disturb the neighborhood.
Or disturb the neighborhood.
So what does that
mean? Singing.
Disturb public peace.
Exactly.
Disturb public peace. All we are saying.
So it now says it is immaterial that the original assembly is peaceful.
So I mean,
so you see,
you can see
the whole thing.
Because has begun as a peaceful.
Yes.
I think all what this guy is doing is just couching it in some fine words and so on. The truth of the matter is that all what he is saying are already encapsulated in various of our laws. Yes. So we don't, rather than them disturbing themselves and talking about this kind of thing, these are not things that are of immediate need to Nigerians. What is of immediate concern to Nigerians is security of life and property.
Yes.
So all these one that people must not protest, people must not gather, 3 people. Where are we going?
We need to look at that section. Is this
an important thing?
I know the number 69 that he wants to replace. What is wrong with that section?
It is what the Yoruba call you. Okay,
I have Farouk is calling us from Kaduna State. Thank you for joining us, Farouk.
Good evening, Mr. Ayo. Good evening, Mr. Babajide. Good evening, Mr. Alaika. Please, I would love to chip in your last conversation on the constitutional amendment.
Okay.
Well, especially what you just said last, you differentiating between protesting and riots. We live in Nigeria where protesting is the right of every citizen. We know our rights. Yes, sometimes we know that thugs and hooligans would love to take advantage of those times to turn it into something else. We can't just use sweet words to turn or to try to prevent the Nigerians from speaking their mind. Protesting is the right of every single citizen. We are educated. We know what a peaceful protest is. Whenever we're during the EndSARS, they came out and they said the protest is peaceful. They are going out for a peaceful protest. So we know the difference. We can't come out and we with weapons and say we want to protest. That is no more protest. But you preventing people, Nigerians with their rights, preventing them from exercising their rights, it's not fair.
Thank you. Jide, ultimately, this will still go through the first, second reading, and I think if there's going to be a public hearing, the civil society organizations, everybody, I will advise them to be part of this public hearing, and so that this will not go unchallenged.
Let me read something again. When an unlawful assembly, why do you think he branded it unlawful? If he did not get the permission of the police to
protest. The Constitution has already settled that.
When an unlawful assembly has begun to act in so tumultuous a manner as to disturb the peace,
that means
the assembly is called a riot.
That means if you have the numerical strength.
And the person so assembled are said to be riotously assembled. So, if you know the danger in it, if you start a protest and it gets hijacked,
or if the number
grows,
if the number grows,
they are disturbing people in the
yes.
They are making noise, they are drumming and all that. So you have become riotous. You have become riotous. In the wisdom of Emeka Chinedu Martins, Honorable Emeka Chinedu Martins.
We're coming out with this very weird, but
he's just engaged in the comedy.
Even in the White House, in America, in the White House, there's a segment
where people protest. Yes.
People
perpetually they are protesting
every time to protest. They sit out there day and night. Protest is part of democracy.
It's part of democracy.
You cannot legislate protest
if
out.
You look for something else to present and not this kind of
I don't know why some of our leaders are becoming increasingly intolerant. These are the signs that we are seeing.
This government,
that you don't even want protest at all.
Yes.
You don't want people to show dissent at all. You don't want people to
all follow the same way.
Anger. No, we can't. Just
don't forget. So before this administration, I've covered protests that involved Mr. President himself.
Yes.
Severally.
Yes.
That involved leaders of APC.
Yes. So stand in front.
They stand in front.
The
Jonathan.
pictures are everywhere.
Some of them were even tear gassed at the point of time. State
before the doctrine of necessity came, there was protest. The Save Nigeria group.
Massive protest.
Yes.
That we don't want a subsidy. We don't want this.
As of January 2012, 1st of January 2012, we all went to Ojota, protest for several days, and they didn't kill anybody.
I think what is happening is that is the same route.
Small protest the other day, and a little girl was killed.
Is the same route they took, and they don't want another person to use the same route.
No, the way we use power is different.
So I mean that is just it. It's very unfortunate. These are not things that are of immediate need to us at all. The issue that we should talk about is how do we checkmate these bandits? How do we
secure life
and property? How do you make the economy to boom? People are groaning. Prices of things are skyrocketing every day.
The parents of these kids that were kidnapped, you know, they protested, they blocked the road. They protested on the day it happened. So if we are to go by what Honorable Emeka Chinedu criminalize that protest, they will look riotous because they were making noise and all that. So you now send them to jail for life or for 5 years?
This will not work.
For a thing that is not the day that caused it, is the inefficiency of the government that caused it.
Funny I expect this one to
thank you for your contribution.
By the wayside.
And the master himself, Babajide Kolade Stoji, thank you for your contribution. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. And don't forget to join us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozuwako. Bye for now, and God bless.